I'm I'm good.
Good, good.
Just had a conversation about your favorite prime minister.
Oh,
lovely.
Trudeau.
We've never had that conversation, have we?
I think we touched on it at Moxie's, but that was about it.
Yeah, okay. Let's stay away from that conversation.
Yeah, it'll be our whole 30 minutes right there.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, so what I'd like to talk about today, and then I'll open it up to you, is we need a direction in terms of which products do we start promoting. I'm kind of leaning towards, and by the way, you don't have any equipment, right? You don't have any heavy equipment.
No, we don't.
Okay. Um, so I mean, do you guys feel confident enough if someone wanted to excavate, a hole for a pool or a custom home? Are you comfortable you could do that if you rented the equipment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the custom home's not an issue. Foundations do them all the time. The pool, I think, would be.
We haven't done a pool yet, but it's roughly the same as foundations. Because foundations, you got to be, there's a drawing. You have your your tolerances, you're allowed. It's all relatively the same.
Yeah,
Uh,
and undisturbed soil, so you can cut pretty cleanly.
oh yeah, I just did a pad day for a shop, and you got to be pretty well bang on the entire way.
Okay. Have you been using lasers for leveling and that sort of thing?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, using
A-
laser spears.
And you can rent the lasers, right?
Yeah. Lasers
Okay.
actually that it'd be a lot smarter to buy a laser instead of renting.
Okay.
I believe they charge 75 a day for a laser, and you can pick up a laser for $1,000. So
Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, that we should maybe have two fronts. Do the excavation
Mhm.
part, because you guys are comfortable with that. You have some history and credibility there.
yeah,
But I see that as probably taking a little bit longer because now you're being a subcontractor to someone else. So we have to, attract general contractors or developers or custom home builders for you to be subs. And that we can do on Facebook groups. That could be kind of organic type outreach. We could also do a paid advertisement for that. And the second one, I'm thinking bathrooms.
Okay, because we were talking about that today on the way home for this meeting, and with the bathrooms, we got nothing, no real experience there. We like the idea of pushing that for the second one, but that would have to be subbed out.
Yeah. And that's what we started to do on Facebook, looking for subs, looking for employees to do that. And when you have subs, you can keep your full-time job and just manage the job to make sure it's going well, make sure they have the material, people showed up and stuff like that. And you're going to
yeah,
contract with a sub on the project, not hourly. So
okay.
even if he takes a day longer, hopefully he doesn't, because you want to under promise and over deliver. But as
Mm.
long as he's there when he says he's going to be there and that the project's being done, because I've seen some guys that are looking for work, and as long as they're posting some pictures that are really wow, right? We just got to make sure it is their pictures, so somebody has to go visit that job site, and the
Yeah,
own the homeowner says, "Hey Fred, thanks for coming back." If the homeowner says, "Who the hell are you?" we know we have a problem, right? So we
yeah,
need to verify that these people actually did the work, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. There is a bunch on that. The construction. Is it pros and tips? I believe that.
Tips, fun fails, yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
tons of on that one I've seen that
yeah.
people.
I invited you guys yesterday or the day before to a Toronto group.
Yeah,
That's a much smaller group, and that's where I saw some of the tile work done.
Yeah.
And I used to have guys who used to do the glass for shower walls and stuff. I'm not sure that I still have those connections. But once you have those connections that come in and measure and do everything, and you piece it out, then, bathrooms are fairly easy as long as you have the suppliers for the tile, or you open an account with Centura or Olympia Tile in Toronto. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. And lots of people are comfortable doing bathrooms, and the bathroom, people tend to do from beginning to end. So you don't need 20 different people in there
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a very small space to begin with. Right? So like basements, you need a framer, you need a drywall, you need a taper, you need a painter, you need a flooring guy, you need a kitchen guy, and so on. But bathrooms, people are generally doing the whole project, and that's why I kind of like it. And a third option would either be painting or bathrooms. But I think the margins are better on bathrooms. And there's going to be a lot more quoting on painting, so it's going to require a lot more work to get the job. Once you get the bathroom job, now it's a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get it done, depending on how big it is. And there isn't as much management as long as you choose the right person or the
Yeah.
right people. Does that make sense? Are we on the same page?
Yeah, I like that. What
Okay.
area are you gonna be focusing our marketing on? Is it GTA or are you gonna do like Golden Horseshoe?
No, I'm going to try the Golden Horseshoe first. We want to keep it as close to you as possible.
Yeah.
But I see some bleeding to the Toronto area, and I don't think you should walk away from a job if it's a profitable job in the Toronto area. We can just hire a sub in the Toronto area.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's going to increase your travel time.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be a big deal.
No.
But obviously, the ad spend will be in whatever area, Hamilton, Burlington area.
Okay.
What's the population of your town? Do you know?
Uh,
City?
Like where we live, it's very small. It's under 4,000, I think.
on the form.
Okay.
Most people, most companies, they call it like they just use our county, which I think I mentioned on the Facebook. They use just Brant County or Brant, and then that kind of covers Brantford, the big city, plus the surrounding little towns like us. So then that population grows to probably 200,000.
So Brant County is the same as our GTA.
Kind of for our small towns, yeah. That'd be
Okay. I'm wondering if that's a search term. I'll check and see if that's a search term.
Yeah,
So
you
it's-
can Brant. Like if you look on, say you're setting a distance for looking at something on Marketplace. Brant County is considered municipality.
Okay. Hopefully Google recognizes that as well, or Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you guys think about landscaping maintenance, like grass cutting and
I think that would be a very good good push to that too.
okay. The reason why I like that is because again, it's contract work, right? You land a contract year after year, you're maintaining these jobs. And I like the idea of a weekly type service where it's a constant reminder you exist. They know you have divisions that do custom homes and do other stuff. And it's a great way to remind them to think about referrals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think the landscape, hardscape, and property maintenance is a very very good choice.
Okay, so you like the hardscape as well?
Yeah, like you can I know a lot of people, they want like because retaining walls and stuff like that is considered, it kind of floats between both hardscape and landscape. It's all
Okay,
for the landscape of your backyard or front yard.
okay. So hardscape is a go then?
Yeah, either or.
Yeah.
Okay. What about actual landscaping? I was I may be dating a landscape architect in the Niagara area.
Okay,
So, which if that happens, that might, or we might go out at and look for and connecting with landscape architects and get that type of work. Are you interested in planting trees and doing the landscaping part with bobcats and whatever? Is that something of interest or no?
I think if like the job's big enough and then we see the progress of like us moving forward and making decent money in that area, then I don't see why it would kind of be dumb for us not to at least entertain it.
Yeah, and eventually have crews to do that work and whatnot.
Yeah, because
I know-
it kind of fits in, right? We get someone to do the landscape design, you guys do the installation and construction, then do the maintenance afterwards.
Yeah,
Because
Right.
I'm getting that if you're talking about a landscape architect needs to come in and design this property, it's a pretty big job, right? Like
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
one small.
If they hire an architect, it's a big project. Nobody
Yeah.
hires an architect for a small project.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I like it then.
Okay. Um, okay. So we need to talk about, invoices, contracts, subcontractor agreements. I'm guessing you don't have any of that in place, right?
no, we don't.
Okay. Um, we've talked about, multi-point or multi-price contract. We talked about, it statistically, it gives you an advantage. Are you still on board with that? Is that a good idea?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Then, like you said, they're only competing against our company, they're not searching around.
Well, they're more likely to compare you to you, and hopefully they forget about the other prices, right? Because they're thinking about what's the difference between the silver and the gold package or the platinum package, right?
Yeah.
And it helps increase the conversation. And when you start with design, like you want to hire the architect. So technically the architect is one of your employees who does the design. So you're part of the design process. And whether, it's the design for a custom home or design for landscaping or design for a pool or design whatever, you want to control the sale. You want to be the top dog. You want to be the lion, right? And everybody else is under you. And that allows you to build that trusted relationship with the client, right? Each time you go in to present a design, the architect is on the Zoom call. You could be there live or on a Zoom call as well, and you're talking about the changes between design 8 and design 10. That builds a lot of credibility because they see you investing a lot of time and energy into their project, right? We used to use design to build that, and this is why we were sometimes double or triple what everybody else was quoting, but because we used the design to build that credibility, we could do that. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me see what I can do. It's been a long time since I've been involved in contracts, like retail contracts. But let me see what I have. And we'll have to update some of the clauses and stuff. Oh, and that email is now functioning, info@gorgeoushome.com. I'm going to send you information on how to get it, how to get into it. The other thing you can do is permanently forward it to another email. It makes it more convenient, but I'm not sure that I like that because if the link breaks down, now you haven't received an email for 2 or 3 days. Now a client is writing a bad review. So even though it takes a few other seconds to log in to that email, I think it's worthwhile. And especially if you set up notifications. As I said, company policy should be getting back to that client within 5 minutes. 10
Yeah.
minutes, is pushing it. 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
And, if you guys want to transfer to each other when somebody's on call, and eventually it's going to be your salespeople that are going to be dealing that, or your VAs that are going to be dealing with that. But until we get these people, then obviously you guys have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're going to start doing the marketing. It's going to go to a landing page on the website. They're going to fill in the request to quote. You're going to get dinged saying there's a request to quote. Somebody needs to look at that within 5 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're on the machine, so you got to figure that out. You got on the machine, can you hear the ding, first of all? And how are you going to answer it? Because if your boss gets pissed off because they see you on the phone, how is that going to affect your job?
Yeah, I don't foresee us getting back to a customer within 5 minutes as being an issue. I don't,
Yeah,
that's, yeah. We're like
Okay.
our generation with our phones, I mean, we're checking our phones more often than we're getting notifications, so.
Okay. Even if it is, Mr. Jones, I just received your requested quote. I'm just with a client right now. Can I call you back this evening, 3 o'clock?
yeah,
2 minutes, the client, oh, okay, that's fine. Can I call you at 7 p.m.? Then they know they can stop searching. The whole idea is to get them to stop searching.
yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You're on the job. I've got your information. I know your address. I know your street. Even, let me do a drive-by on my way home. I think I know the house type thing. And I'll call you at 7 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
So that's crucial. So contracts, we should talk about closing techniques and sales techniques. We also need to build, a drip campaign. So we need to create videos for the drip campaign. So what we try and do is when the requested quote comes in, we generally schedule a meeting 5 to 10 days out. So the drip campaign can go to work. Okay, and we'll have to have different drip campaigns if it's a bathroom, if it's an ensuite bathroom as opposed to a hallway bathroom, if it's a landscaping maintenance or whatever it is. So we got to set up all these drip campaigns. And these drip campaigns talk about, this is what our clients are saying about us. So we need testimonials. So if we could get some video testimonials from people until we can replace them with real testimonials or better testimonials, we need to create something like that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And this is where your current clients, even though they're technically not your clients, but you're doing the work on it. And this is where the gray area is. From my perspective, if you did the work, I don't care who wrote the contract. If you did the work, right? I see you as having at least partial ownership of that job,
Yeah,
right? So if we can go back to some of these clients and get a text testimonial, preferably a video testimonial, that would really help on the marketing side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
look at-
the other thing, considering we're starting to do a pay-per-click campaign and we don't have a truck on the road yet, a lot of this marketing is going to fall flat because you're not part of the community yet.
Yeah,
Right. So we need to find a way of getting a truck on the road, even if it's just a courier company driving it around.
what do you mean by that? Just
Like a delivery service is just using our wrapped van to.
Yeah, we have a courier company actually out of Brampton who we rent the trucks to. If we have an extra truck, there was a period of time where he kept calling me, Leo, do you have a truck? Do you have a, I need trucks. He hasn't called me recently though, where he pays a daily rate, he rents the truck from us, and he drives around advertising for you, basically.
It's okay. Yeah, I've seen that in Cambridge before, where they like it's literally just a truck with signs that automated.
Yeah, except this one will have Wild Gorgeous Home on it. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the truck that I sent you. So we need to, as we discussed before, we need to find a used Mercedes vehicle, Sprinter van. We need to wrap on it. We need to find the, leasing agent to attach the wrap to the lease, where you're paying, $1,200 or $1,500 a month for this vehicle with a $10 buyback. So at the end of the lease, you own the vehicle, or
Okay,
$1,000 buyback. They don't like $10 buyback anymore. Actually, the government doesn't like that either. So that's why they bumped it up to 1,000 or something. But either way, it's still your vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. But you write off 100% of the lease.
Okay.
Okay. That's why you want to do that. And you get to keep cash in the company.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Because you're not spending 40 grand on buying a used vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're.
So instead of having someone else, because we both are going to need vehicles soon, could we, instead of having them drive, like we do a fair bit of driving ourselves all through towns and whatever, but not work if we put it on one of our vehicles?
Yeah, except you're never going to do as many miles as a courier company does. Never. Because when you go to a job site, it's parked there, right?
Yeah.
And how many vehicles are going to go by on the Crescent, right? Maybe 10, 15 vehicles. On Highway 401, it's 400,000 per day. That's the difference, right?
That is a good point.
Fair.
So I know you need a vehicle, but what we need is eyeballs on these vehicles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And our goal is to get 20 calls per day from this van. That's our 20 leads per day from this van.
Okay.
Okay. So start looking at Auto Trader, start looking at car lots, used car lots in your area, start making some phone calls, because we need to find this van.
All right. And we find one, we'll just forward that off to you.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'll try and find this our leasing agent, because all my connections were on LinkedIn, but hopefully he's still on my calendar and I can find him.
Okay. Good.
Any other questions? So we've got the contracts we've got to worry about. We've got to find subs. We got to find VAs. We got to find the truck.
The VAs, I've been sending the emails. I mean, yeah, I'm trying different like wording of the opening paragraph, cutting out the questions at first, because maybe that's too much for them to read. But I'm trying. Yeah.
Okay. We got to try. We got to. The other thing we can do is add them to WhatsApp and just call them.
Okay.
Just call them a few times. Because if emails don't work, we got to call them.
All right. Okay. Another two. So
sorry, but keep in mind it's 7 p.m. is 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
So we were talking about the leasing company earlier. Didn't you say you got the vehicles through the leasing company, or do you find the
No,
vehicles?
we have to find the vehicles. The leasing companies, unless you go to like a lot of used car dealerships have their own leasing company. The problem is, trying to get the wrap in the lease. Not everybody will do that. Then you're forced to buy the wrap and pay cash, and the wrap could be $4,000 or $5,000. I'm going to keep that $5,000 in the company. We're going to run out of money very quickly. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And that's why we want to buy the van, get the best deal for the van, negotiate for the van, and say, okay, here's $1,000 deposit. I'm going to get my leasing company to come and finish the paperwork.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll keep working on the VAs then, and we'll look for some vans. We're working on getting. better.
Make a point of making 10 phone calls tonight.
Okay.
On WhatsApp. You know, between now and midnight, because midnight is 12 noon there, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got to get them because, then we can use them to find the subcontractors and the leasing companies and trucks and, they could do a lot more work than you and I are trying to do
Yep.
now.
For
Okay.
sure.
Any other questions?
That's all for me
That's-
for
yeah.
now.
Okay.
You got
Keep the
covered.
communication going on Facebook and we'll talk again soon.
Perfect. You have a good night, Leo.
All right, good night.
Okay.